Good morning and welcome to the video for Monday, May the 18th. This is for 5th grade and it's our second to last lesson of the school year. So we're going to be continuing this idea that we've been working on the last few lessons. So we're not really doing much more at this point than just continuing to practice this idea as we work on more complicated problems. So the extra step that we may have to do today is figure out the measurement of one of our sides of our rectangular prism, either for related to the base or related to the height. So let's go ahead and start off. We are working with 7 times 5 times 3. And so to start with, they want us to do 7 times 5. That is going to give us 35, as you can see down here. And then they want us to go ahead and multiply times 3. So that is going to give us 90 plus 15, which would be 105 cubic inches. And so this is the most basic way to do this. Again, we're going to kind of look at this idea of using the base, the area of the base. So for instance, for this one, that's what they're looking for. So our base is going to be 5 times 4, which is going to come out to being 20. And so we would multiply in our height. So 20 times 8 is going to give us our answer. That would be 160 cubic inches. And so for this particular mold that they're referring to, we would need 160 cubic inches of sand to fill that mold. So let's go ahead and quickly look at these and this is the more important one because we're going to have to figure out how many groups of 20 we're going to have. So I'm going to actually do this one first. So 5 times 4 is going to give us the first two measurements. That would give us 20. And then we would need to think about our missing numbers. So how many groups of 20 would we need to get up to our volume of 60? That would be 3. So the unknown measurement is for our height is going to be 3 centimeters. So that's the only new real wrinkle that we have this time. So really quick, let's go ahead and take care of our problem A here. So our first line that we're going to write in is going to be 7 times 4 times 5. Then we are going to get 28 times 5. And then the last one is going to be our answer. And so I think I'm just going to go ahead and write this out to the side if you want to do the same thing. If you want to go ahead and get this before I get done, you can go ahead and pause the video. So it looks like we're going to have 140 cubic inches. All right, let's go on to our share and show and on your own problems. I'm probably not going to spend as much time with these. I'll talk through how to get them and we'll find them really quick, but I'm not going to take a lot of time explaining things on this page. So I want you to go ahead and take a look at these, pause the video if you need to. Those of you that are familiar with our last lesson, this one should be coming back to you really quickly because we did that in our previous lesson. So pause the video if you need to, and when you're ready, go ahead and hit play. So assuming that you did that, number one, we can do our length times the width to get a base of 8. Our base times our height is going to give us 8 times 5, which is 40 cubic feet. For our next one, we can get 16 times 9. The other way we could do that is go ahead and get 36 times 4, which I actually like better because it's easier to do. So I would get 24 for this. Excuse me. I get 24 for this, carry my 2, and then I would get 144. Which again, I think the idea if we did it 16 times 9, we had that particular problem in the previous lesson as well. So 36 times 6 is going to give us our answer, and so that would give us 6, carry the 3 to 16. And that would be cubic inches. And then we can do 48 times 4 for our last one, and that should give us 192 cubic feet. So number 5, Cheryl has a box that is in shape of a rectangular prism. Its height's twice its length is 3 times its width, and its width measures 6 inches. So now let's figure out what the rest of our sides are so we can do this problem. So our width is going to be 6 inches. The length, so let's say that this is going to be 6. Our measurement this way is going to be 6 times 3, which is going to be 18. And then our height is going to be twice the length. So our height is going to be 36. So if we need to go ahead and pause the video to figure this part out. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and do 36 times 18 first and get it over with. And so I think I may actually build in a pause so I can go ahead and work on this. So if you see me skip right to the answer, that's what happened. So you guys aren't tortured having to wait for me to finish writing on my screen. And so it looks like this part is going to be 648, which I am then going to multiply by 6. Perfect. All right, so welcome back from the short break. I am going to edit out the time that I spent to put that in there. So what we end up with, 36 times 18 is going to give us 648. 648 times 6 is going to give us 3,888. So let's take a look at a couple of our problems where we are going to have to find the length of the missing side. So what we can do for our first one is know that we are going to get 7 times 6 to get 42. If we divide 42 from 420, that is going to give us 10 feet. For the other one, if we do 6 times 15, that's going to give us 90 centimeters. So again, we can divide 900 divided by 90 is going to give us 10. So just kind of an idea of how that would work. So usually, at least for the moment right now, they are going to give you easier problems that looks like to do that. So let's take a look at our homework real quick. So for number 2, number 3, and number 4, all we're working with is just going ahead and multiplying our 3 numbers together. For number 5, we're going to do the same thing, but it's in word problem form. Same thing for number 6. Number 7, explain how you'd find the height of a rectangular prism if you know the volume is 60 cubic centimeters and that the area of the base is 10. So one of the things that you can explain is what we just did over here. You can use division to help you find the answer, and they're probably going to want you to give the actual answer. Number 1, on the back, we are working with much larger numbers, so I would suggest that you take the time to write out that problem to help you. Number 2, we are working with a cube, so we're doing something that looks like this, but you would replace all the numbers with 15. For number 3, we are going to have 8 boxes kind of in this direction, and we are going 3 boxes deep. So you're going to be looking to do 8 times 3 to get the number of boxes, and then multiplying that by this number. For number 4, you're going to take the value of everything here. I remember some people had some weird issues with this when we were working on it earlier this year. So Risen Christ students, Merry Christmas. You also get to do number 4 in addition to the ones on the front. So evens on the front, 1 and 2 on the back, and I am going to add in that you need to do number 4 because I had a surprising number of you that did not take the time to think through this. So what we're working with is you are going to be able to solve this by adding groups together. So you can do 3/8 plus 1/8 to make a half. And you can do that 2 times. So think about that as you work through this. The 2 halves added together is going to give you an easy to work with number. The 4/4 is going to give you an easy to work with number. And you can combine these together to get groups of 4/8, which equal 1/2, that are easy to work with. So that is my very long-winded explanation for how to do that problem. Number 5, if we have 20 unit cubes, how many different rectangular prisms can you build? Think about when I went ahead and used the tabletop simulator to kind of show different ways that we could stack things. So if we only have 20 cubes to start with, there's an obvious one that you can do that would be 1 cube high. Think about other ways that you can do that, and we're looking for a number of ways that you can do that. You can also think of the numbers that you can multiply together. So 3 factors that you can multiply together to get the answer 20. And number 6 is just an elapsed time problem. So shouldn't need to do any explanation with that. So those are the problems for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in Google Classroom or reach out to your classroom teacher. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm excited that the school year is almost finished. We've got one more lesson to go. But before that, we will have a homework video coming out on Tuesday morning, the 19th. That will cover the answers from this lesson. So hope you have a wonderful day. Again, reach out if you have any questions that you need answered, and I will see you tomorrow.